Hi all, Colin Bushell again here with another creative photography exercise. I'm struggling to think of a name for this one, so if you've got any ideas or comments, then please place them in the comments below. But fundamentally, I'm going to be taking a beer out of this fridge, which is something that I enjoy doing, and the image would hopefully be quite quirky. But of course, the challenge there is how long do we spend in the fridge, and how do you get a photograph of me on the outside of the fridge actually taking it away. Now, being inside the fridge for a while, of course, creates consequences. So, to avoid any such nasties, let's avoid getting in the fridge and let's bring the fridge to us. Okay, so it's appropriate that we are in the kitchen because I'm going to give you a list of ingredients that you need in order to take this photograph yourself at home. Okay, so the first thing you need is a table. So any table would do, but preferably one with a white surface or a white sheet over the surface. You don't want any other colours seeping into the final image, so just keep everything as white as possible. Next thing, raid your fridge for 2 of the glass shelves from your fridge. Now they'll need a clean, come on, be honest, mine did. Probably not the thing you get out every single day, so give them a nice clean, and 2 of those will do the trick. Then you're going to need something to rest the top shelf upon the bottom shelf. So you need something sturdy, upturned shoebox, books. In my case over here, I have stolen some of my CDs from my CD collection, and 2 piles of them either side will give you the desired effect and nice and sturdy. Plus they're mostly rock CDs, and so they're harder and stronger than some of the other wishy-washy stuff. Then you're going to need some beers. Okay, so beers are an important factor. So I have gone out and treated myself to a series of English beers. In this case, some Shepherd Neame and some Young Specials. I've got a Sheep Shaggers Gold, of course. I have a Bishop's Finger. Don't go there. A Spitfire and a Bombardier. And one final beer, which is will be the subject of me lifting it from the fridge, is the Old Fart. Again, don't go there. Okay. Then you're going to need some food from the fridge. Okay, so you can choose whatever you like. Okay, tomato sauce or bread, butter, apples, just things with different colours, different textures, because they're going to be sitting on top of the shelf, the imaginary fridge shelf, and you're going to see the reflection of those underneath. So it's important you just get a few of those together, and I'll show you in the setup how that looks. Okay, that's pretty. Oh, one other thing, you're going to need one of these things. You're going to need a mist spray, and again, preferably on the mist setting. And that's to sort of to soak the beer and make it look like it's got a nice bit of condensation. Okay, let's put all that stuff together like magic and see what it looks like. Okay guys, here's the 30-second technical details. Shot at 1/15 of a second, obviously on a tripod, f4, nice big wide aperture on my 17 to 40mm lens. Basically I overexposed it by 3 stops as well. That was to basically give me a nice bright foreground to compensate for the fact that the light of the window was right in my face and I wanted it all nice and bright. I'd focused on the last bottle, so I was assured the bottle I was taking out was in focus. And that's it, ready to take the shot. Okay guys, here we go. Gird your loins for a 3-minute edit. Here's the image in its raw form imported into Lightroom. I've done a quick lens correction, but other than that I'm going to do all the editing for this image to get it finished in Lightroom, which is good news. A hurrah, I hear you say. Okay, so a few things to do first. Firstly, we want to go into the transform tool over here on the right hand side. This is your straightening, rotating, vertical adjustment type of tool, and I'm just going to click on auto. Okay, always do that first and see whether that takes you where you want to go. If it does, terrific. In this case it does. I don't need to get involved in any of these other ones over here. That's great. Second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to crop it. So I want to get the crop right before I start adjusting the light, because that will have an impact on the edges and what things look like, etc. So let's get that cropped in to the point where we can no longer see the CDs, and there you go. Now we're going to go over here to basic, and this is your basic or your complete sort of editing suite for exposure, contrast, highlight, the things that would be in any, or certainly most editing suites. This has a few more extra little tools, but for the sake of this argument, we're going to stick with a few simple ones. We're going to click on auto again, because that basically is always a good way to start, and immediately you can see that the color of the bottles here, tremendous. Nice, beautiful light through there. That's coming in through this window at the background, and the water is really gleaming. That's terrific. Okay, the only thing is I'm not happy with is I really would want it to be more exposed. Now remember, I did 3 stops overexposed in the camera. That was to bring any sort of light into this foreground area here with this very bright light behind, but I would like it even brighter. Okay, so I'm going to push this exposure way up, which may seem extreme at the moment. Maybe I'm going to push that right up to say 1 plus 1.10. Okay, and that's good. And the other correction needs to be is that a fridge, for example, would not have this equal bright light at the back of the fridge as it would at the front of the fridge. So to get rid of that, we're going to go to effects, and we're going to add over here on the right hand side a vignette. We're going to bring that vignette in to darken that area so that it looks much darker at the back of the fridge, makes it look more authentic. Bring that down to about -40, there or thereabouts. It's not an exact science. And then finally, I'm slightly annoyed by this little sort of water droplet down here at the bottom. So I'm going to go to this spot healing brush, which is up here on the right, make that slightly bigger. I'm going to basically drag across that little droplet, click back on the sign over here, and that has gone. Now, I reckon I could tweak and muck around with that a bit longer. I think for the sake of a 3-minute edit on that picture, we can consider that done. Okay guys, well hopefully you enjoyed that, a bit of fun, and yeah, you can go ahead and have a go yourself. And if you've got any questions about the process or want any more details, then please drop me a message. I'm only too pleased to help. If anyone's got any, wants to sort of learn a bit more about photography in all its sort of forms, my online, well, my workshop, my photography workshops are actually now online. So doesn't matter where you are, if you want to have a couple of hours learning a little bit about sort of aperture and shutter speeds and composition and that sort of thing, and get the most out of your camera, especially get out of the auto mode, then yeah, please come along to one of my workshops. They're listed as events on my photography Facebook page, and I'm getting my website redone at the moment as well, so it'll all be on there eventually. So okay guys, well again, stay safe. Please let me know if you've got any questions. As I say, I'm only too happy to help. And I look forward to next week's challenge, which I already have an idea festering up here. So watch this space. All right, guys, you take care. Bye now.